Welcome to Paragon TV. I'm Randall Paul. We're here again with David Young, and this is the Wealth Management Show. Today we're going to be talking about something that isn't pleasant, but that every investor needs to think about: scams. Tell us how we can trust you at Paragon to take care of your fiduciary responsibility. When we give you money, how do we know we're not getting scammed by you and your team there?
I think that's a very good question. And the one that comes to mind is Bernie Madoff.
Oh, yeah.
And how they scam people. There were a lot of really smart people who were invested in Bernie Madoff. So you ask yourself, how could they be scammed?
Yeah.
How could you lose $60 billion worth of investor assets?
Yeah.
And once you understand how that scam worked, it makes you a better investor, I believe. Essentially what happened there was the investment advisory side of the business and the brokerage side of the business were both owned by Bernie Madoff. So when you put your money in the brokerage to have it managed by Bernie Madoff, he had full control of your assets. And that's a key word, is full control. You really don't want an investment advisor to have full control of your assets. Because essentially what they were able to do is, because they had full control, they essentially just made up brokerage statements and told people these were the returns they were getting. And they did it for years and years, apparently. So in order to protect yourself, you really want to have your money independent from the advisor. And the way that we do this is all of our accounts are custodied at Charles Schwab. So if you were invested with us, you would have a Charles Schwab account. And Charles Schwab is responsible for your money once you give it to them. And then what we have is we have a limited power on that account to move the money around and to see exactly what's going on in that account. So we can adjust it, we can monitor it, we can trade it, but we cannot withdraw it. So that's kind of how you build this Chinese wall, as it were, is you've got the money on one side, it's your money, it's your account, you have full control of it. You've hired us to actively manage that account.
If for any reason I decide I just want my money, can I go in and get it from Charles Schwab without having to ask permission?
Oh yeah, no, this is your money, your account, and by the way, you've hired us to manage it for you. So if you weren't happy with the way we were managing it, or you wanted to do something different, all you would have to do is, you could leave your money at Schwab if you wanted to. You would just take us off as the manager. It's as simple as a letter, a letter and a phone call, and it takes us off. It removes our ability to manage that account.
I see.
So it's not like an annuity or something. Where
Yeah.
you're getting hit with surrender charges, or a
And
bank
you're stuck
CD.
for years.
Yeah, and you're stuck for years. It's not that. This is your account. You've hired us to manage it.
Is there any scam that you are particularly aware of that's going on today on a repeated basis that investors ought to be aware of?
There's a whole litany of them. Most of them involve when you write a check to an individual entity. Say you have XYZ Investments. So I write my check out to XYZ Investments. They've got full control of my money. And it's more on a local basis than on a national basis. It might be some kind of a partnership that's developing some real estate. It might be a business that's a franchise. Who knows what it is? But it's when you write that check. For example, if you wrote the check to Paragon and we had full control of that money, you're kind of setting yourself up for a scam. Not that it's going to end up being a scam, but it's at that point that you lose control.
If anybody asks you for that check direct to them, it's a red flag, is what you're telling me.
You better make absolutely certain what's going on with that.
Good. Well, this has been very interesting, as usual. Thank you. Next time.
Thanks.
Come back to Paragon TV when we will see you again for another interesting show.